Why do they have CRT? Why are they going after younger and younger children with all this gender fluidity and identity curriculum and ideology? And the reason is the purpose of all of this is really to separate the child from the parent, and particularly the parent's value system, because then that child becomes more easily for them to mold them and shape them and turn them into activists. That's actually the purpose of all of this. Of course, they don't care that in the process they are life-altering the lives of these children. They don't care that they're destroying their relationship with their parents. They don't care about any of this. The children are just a political tool. And if you don't believe me, Sean, that they would do that to children for politics, just look what they did over the last 2 years. They used our children. They knew forever that for the entire time, that children were not, it was not necessary to lock them down. It was not necessary to mask them. It was certainly not necessary to keep them out of school, which was keeping them back academically and causing them mental trauma, in many cases increased suicide. They didn't care. They had a political objective, and they were going to push through with it regardless of what the impact was on the children.
So, Clay, all right, taxpayer funds are being spent on gender reassignment surgery for children, and then Congresswoman Boebert is asking the Secretary about this document suggesting that removing children from homes is on the table if parents withhold gender-affirming care for their kids. Now, maybe I'm old-fashioned. I think that is an issue for parents and children. If they become adults and that's their decision, that's their choice. They get to make that choice then. The idea that you would separate parents because they don't go along with this agenda or don't believe in it for whatever reason, you're going to remove the parent, the child from the parent? Are you kidding me? What country is this?
It's absolute madness, Sean. Look, we don't let kids drive cars until they're 16. We don't let them vote or reach the age of majority until they're 18. You can't even buy a beer until you're 21, at least legally. And yet we're going to allow minor children to decide to have life-altering, gender-altering surgeries before they are even 18 years old? This is absolute insanity. Parents should be standing up against this. It's child abuse, in my opinion, to be having surgeries like this before you are 18 years old. Now, once you reach the age of majority, if you make that decision for yourself, I think you have the right to make that decision. But the idea that our tax dollars should be funding children who are deciding to have permanent altering surgeries like this, look, we all have kids. We all have been teenagers. We all know how crazy some of the ideas that we have when we're 13 or 14 years old end up feeling like by the time you're 19 or 20 years old. It's why we don't allow minors to be prosecuted as adults if they commit crimes when they are young, because we understand that the brain is still developing and we shouldn't hold young people to the standards of the same age as adults. And by the way, imagine if you were saying right now, Sean or Rachel, hey, I think that every 15-year-old should be able to get married to whoever they want in this country. People would lose their minds. And we're going to allow this with